And now, the City of Cupertino's City Manager, David Knapp.
Thank you. All you need to have a city is a group of buildings. But if you want to have a community, it takes much more than that. It takes people who care. It takes people who take responsibility for each other and who recognize that it really is more satisfying to give than it is to receive. We are blessed in this community to have such people, and we're here tonight to honor them. And speaking of honor, it is my honor to introduce her honor, our Mayor, Chris Huang.
Thank you, Dave. Welcome. This is a really exciting moment. Let me go back a little bit. CREST. What does the CREST stand for? Do we know? Cupertino recognized, extra step taken. That's right. So, like Dave said, this community would not be the way it is without all the volunteers putting their time and efforts. A lot of time we hear people saying Cupertino is a miracle. It is a miracle because we have the least property tax amounts to all the cities in California. Our schools have the least funding amounts to all the schools in California. And we staff, our employee, has the least number amounts to all the city in our size. But we're above, beyond every other cities here. City Cupertino is a symbol that everybody feel proud of. And everybody, you know, sitting here, out there, you go out anywhere, you say, I'm from City Cupertino. You can see what people said that on their face. It's a proud. So we're very proud of that, you know, here, because all the volunteers that put together and helping the city to grow, to build, and that's why we have the proud that we all enjoy. So today, it's City Cupertino, we do a lot of events throughout the year, but, you know, one of this CREST Award is the one that we kind of sit back and think. This is this moment that we really think how we get to this far, because all these people, that really the people that we're about to recognize, put in their efforts and their times, everything. That's why we have our community. We want to take this opportunity to thank all of you, all of the recipients, not just this year, the past, and also people that we haven't recognized yet. All right, so let's start with the first recipient group. It's the Cupertino Senior Center Desk Volunteers. Let's look at the video first.
Wanted, a senior citizen with a warm smile, a positive outlook, and a sense of humor. Must be able to multitask, answer all manner of questions, and be sensitive to cultural distinctions. Must also work for free. It's not a job everyone can do, but the 27 Cupertino Senior Center desk volunteers are more than qualified. This dedicated group of greeters is largely responsible for the Senior Center's reputation of being the friendliest center around. Visitors and members walking through the door are genuinely welcomed and given immediate personal attention. The desk volunteers take their responsibility seriously. They register seniors for membership classes, trips, lunches, and special events. They also give tours, keep up with computer and operational programs, and watch out for clients who may need help from a case manager. Committed to the job and incredibly loyal to the Senior Center, the desk workers recorded 3,072 volunteer hours in 2009, more than 40 hours a week for 52 weeks during the year. The volunteers' time behind the desk frees up Senior Center staff, allowing them to work on programming and special events for the city's growing elder population. Whether they're scheduling an appointment for legal aid or fielding a question about digital TV channels, the senior desk volunteers serve with warmth, grace, and ever-present good cheer.
May I have the volunteers at the Senior Center come on the stage? Please. Let's give them a round of applause. Let me just add a little bit more. We have heard many members of the Cupertino City Center that Cupertino is the friendliest center around in the neighbor cities. And the front desk volunteers, they're here, greet each person who entered the front door with a smile. They work hard to keep up with the most current information about the center. Nothing can replace a warm smile or a friendly greeting. And then also make people feel welcomed and important. And to have someone dedicated in helping and solving problems. The front desk volunteers make it possible for staff to work on programming and special events for our growing senior population. Thank you so much, folks. We have quite a lot of proclamation here, recognize all your work. So first is the award, CREST Award. I'm gonna give that, hand it to you. And now this one is from the Senator Joseph Maffin here. And we also have one from Congressman Mike Honda. Next one is from Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger. And this one is just as heavy as Arnold's. It's from Mayor Chris Huang. Not done yet. We have Supervisor Lynne. I'll take that. Back here. One last one is from Assembly Member Paul Fong. Okay. Right. Who would like to represent the group and give a few words?
Not me. Hi, I'm Mary Lou Robson. I'm probably the newbie in this group. I've only been doing it since February, but it is a great pleasure to do. It's fun. It's fun to meet people. It's fun to discover I haven't forgotten everything I learned being a nurse for 50 years, and I really enjoy it. Thank you all for having us.
Can you imagine it put through more than 3,000 hours worked next year, just 1 year? Amazing. Our next CREST Award recipient is Operation Awareness Planning Team. Let's watch the video.
As Boy Scouts and emergency planners will tell you, the best way to deal with a disaster is to be prepared. With that motto in mind, a dozen community leaders came together last summer and spent 4 months designing the first ever citywide earthquake drill in Cupertino. Known as the Operation Awareness Planning Committee, this diligent group of volunteers developed the exercise as a way to test emergency resources and communication systems throughout the community. Team leaders held regular planning meetings and potlucks with target groups. They put together maps, training, and strategies. They created a promotional campaign distributing 10,000 informational booklets, and they contributed more than 1,500 hours, often working late into the evening planning the exercise. Their efforts to engage every community group they could think of, from local schools and businesses to homeowner associations and service clubs, resulted in more than 600 volunteer participants who contributed 2,500 hours to the project. When the drill took place in October, the months of meticulous planning paid off. Many said the exercise felt like a real incident. In the end, the Operation Awareness Planning Committee had carefully and successfully brought the city several steps closer to being well prepared for the next emergency.
Now I'd like to invite the team come on stage. More? The team. When we watched the video, we thought everything's just very smooth and running fine, everything, but you can ask any one of them. They're facing a lot of challenges and problems, and they have to overcome everything they are facing. So not just putting the hours and effort. So thank you very, very much for all the work you've done for the community. And I'm not going to name every single one of them, but and give a few words. Steve.
Well, an important aspect of this Operation Awareness is that it included citizens from all sectors of the city. It really united the city for that operation. We also had participation from block leaders and Operation Cupertino Green. So we brought in more of the outreach entities from the city. Additionally, we had enthusiastic support from the search staff, city staff, and as the video mentioned, many stakeholders in our community. So I think this Operation Awareness was really a shining example of the city's outreach program and what it can do for our city. And as Dave mentioned in the beginning, it's all about having community involvement that makes the city great. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I would like to introduce one of my good colleagues, Vice Mayor Gilbert Huang, to give the next recipient award. Okay.
Thank you very much. I'm really proud to be here tonight. This is one of the few things that, as a vice mayor, that I'm really proud to see all the recipients get awarded for all their achievements tonight. The next one that I'm proud to announce would be Isabel Rodriguez and Andy Huang. Let's roll the tape.
During Cupertino's first emergency drill last fall, one of the most visible participating groups was CERT, the city's community emergency response team. And within that squad, few were more conspicuous than the husband and wife team of Andy Huang and Isabel Rodriguez. Between them, Andy and Isabel spent more than 1,000 volunteer hours getting ready for and joining in the exercise. Deeply involved in CERT as well as CARES and the Block Leader program, the couple embraced the drill as a way to put their training and expertise into action. Andy aggressively courted the media for publicity about the event and worked tirelessly with youth groups, 20 scout troops, and 3 high school clubs to involve them in the project. Isabel took on the arduous task of documenting the emergency drill, which is essential for tracking and monitoring resources during the incident. She created a 15-page instruction manual, developed a multi-session training program, and stocked 6 ARCs with required forms and supplies. During the weekend of the drill, both Andy and Isabel worked more than 8 hours each day. The couple's dedication to this event and other work underscores their commitment to service and their standing as true role models for every citizen volunteer.
It is my pleasure to call Andy Huang and Isabel Rodriguez up to the stage, please. I had an opportunity to work with Isabel and Andy. They've been very active in the CERT preparedness, emergency preparedness program. They got together over 500 hours of volunteer work and actually organized a day with many various different volunteers, from Boy Scouts to adult volunteers, and really poured their heart and energy into this, that day. They were very warm enough to invite me into their home and show their real dedication for emergency preparedness, that hopefully one day that we might have to exercise that drill into a real life case. With that, it is my honor to give them the award to this wonderful husband and wife team here. And we have various proclamations from city, county, and state and federal. And one of you can come up, or both of you can come up as a team and say brief words.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. My better half has asked me to speak on her behalf. Actually, as Councilman Wong mentioned, together we logged more than 1,000 hours. The main reason is because we had to orchestrate more than 43 organizations. The outreach program that we generated, actually we went out to invite more than 50 organizations throughout Cupertino, from Boy Scouts, like my son, who's part of, to the Girl Scouts, like my daughter who's sitting over there, who's also part of, to the business communities like the Whole Food, like the Target, AMC, as well as all the actual residential communities like the Montebello, like the Chateau, like the Sunnyview, as well as all the nonprofit organizations like the Rotary Clubs, like the Octagon, like the Interact, the CSF from the high school, as well as all the media who also contributed. So really, although we are the recipient of the award, it's actually all the 600 people who actually participated who are the ones that we want to thank for their participation to making our family, our community safer at Cupertino. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andy and Isabel. The next recipient is Catherine Chen, a very good friend of mine. Roll the tape, please.
The extraordinary volunteerism of Catherine Chen is driven by three things: boundless energy, generosity of spirit, and a powerful desire to promote understanding among people of diverse backgrounds. A certified financial planner, she is active in the Chamber of Commerce, where she has served as the Chamber's director and as president of the organization's Asian American Business Council. Her numerous chamber activities have included coordinating Chinese Lunar New Year and Moon Festival luncheons, arranging business socials, and conducting a successful educational seminar. 4 years ago, Catherine joined Quota International of Cupertino, drawn by the club's service component. She has been an officer for the past 2 years and wholeheartedly participates in club projects, benefiting the military in Iraq, a battered women's shelter, and needy children in the West Valley. When Relay of Life came to Cupertino, Catherine jumped on board. She formed a team for Quota which raised more than $5,000, and she laced up her shoes and walked more than 19 miles for the American Cancer Society. The recipients of Catherine's time and considerable talents are as diverse as the community. Whether she's chairing a meeting for the Mandarin Business Association or helping out at an event for the Organization of Special Needs Families, she is always at the forefront of community action, happily giving 100%.
It is my honor to call my friend Catherine Chen up to the stage, please. Congratulations. I'm very proud to call my friend Catherine Chen. We personally have worked together for almost a decade at the Cupertino Chamber of Commerce. I first met Catherine on the Asian American Business Council, and she really poured her dedication inside the Cupertino community. Not only has she been dedicated with the Chamber, but she's also been very dedicated with Quotas International. It's like I almost see her every day. We just had the 25th anniversary for our luncheon, and she's just a great woman who has given so much to our community. Thank you very much, Catherine Chen. And then we have various proclamations, again, from the city, county, state, and federal.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for Quota
suggest me to receive recipient of this CREST Award. I just doing a little bit job, and like so many people doing unsung hero, doing things daily. They haven't get the reward yet. I really appreciate to be the recipient of this award. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Catherine. It is now my honor to recognize the next council member who will be doing presentation, and that is Councilmember Orrin Mahoney.
Thanks, Gilbert. I think many of you know that we've had 3 big meetings this week. We had a long budget study session on Monday night, and then we interviewed 43 candidates for Teen Commission on Tuesday. Now we're back here, but this is definitely one of the most rewarding things that we do get to do during the year, so it's a pleasure to be here. I'd like to introduce our next recipients, and that's Susan and David Wong. And why don't we do a roll-in, please?
There's an exclusive place in the hearts of David and Susan Wong, reserved just for West Valley Community Services. More than 30 years ago, it was a WVCS board member who first introduced the couple. Today, 3 decades and a daughter later, the Wongs remain devoted to each other and to the agency where it all began. So strong is their commitment to WVCS that David and Susan have become 2 of the organization's most recognizable ambassadors. The couple, who share a seat on the WVCS board, uses every opportunity to speak about the good work being done by their favorite organization. They discuss WVCS at neighborhood association meetings, in grocery store checkout lines, and at Rotary Club events. They encourage everyone they meet to support the agency financially or through volunteerism. Their enthusiasm and advocacy has resulted in attracting countless donors, volunteers, and even board members to the agency. David and Susan themselves are hard-working and active WVCS leaders. They participate in several committees, including Faith in Action, Fund Development, and Finance. In both public and personal lives, it's easy to see David and Susan are a couple that gives wholeheartedly and cares deeply.
David and Susan, come on up. There's your spot. So again, I think hopefully almost anybody in Cupertino knows about the valuable services that are delivered by West Valley Community Services, and it is only through all the volunteers, both at the board level, right down to people that are collecting food, that all that stuff happens. And it was interesting. They mentioned the Faith in Action group, and I guess we're going to hear a little bit more about that later. But does the rotating homeless shelter, and as a Rotarian, we participate in delivering meals. So I've had the opportunity to personally go over there and meet some of the people and just understand how important that operation is for those people that are in that situation in the community. And again, what a good job WVCS does in there. So again, thank you for all the work that you do, and thank you thanks WVCS for being as good as it is for the community. So would you like to say, one of you would like to say a few words?
Thank you, Orrin. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for the honor that you bestowed on us, and we are truly humbled. We are actually further humbled by thinking of the good work that the volunteers actually did for thousands of homeless and families that are in need. And the staff members, particularly the staff members, I think they are wonderful people and they're excellent citizens. And I also am aware that there are many other groups like Rotary and also like Faith in Action. They have done excellent work, and we worked with them before, and we'll continue to work with them. And they have just put us to shame sometimes on the kind of work they do for other people. And so with that, I humbly thank everyone for such an honor, and I hope you have a great time when you volunteer for WVCS.
So even though it looked like you share a position on the board, you don't have to share one of these. You each get. You get your own title. But you may have to share with the proclamation. Again, thank you very much for all the work that you do. Okay, our next recipients are the Rhythmaires. So again, why don't we have a little video clip here?
They've got rhythm, they've got music, and who could ask for anything more? For 3 decades, the Rhythmaires Band has been bringing their message of music and joy to venues throughout the community. They play for love and for fun, for children, for seniors, and for everyone in between. Led by Jack Peters, the band is made up of 10 enthusiastic musicians whose average age is 70 years old. Based at the Cupertino Senior Center, the Rhythmaires also perform at the city's 4th of July celebration and other holiday events, at retirement homes, and in Cupertino elementary schools. The all-volunteer band is a dedicated crew faithfully practicing at the Senior Center every Friday. Last year, they put in more than 1,700 collective hours making beautiful music. The Rhythmaires make a point of keeping up with the times. They began 30 years ago as a country-style group known as the Hayseed Band. They've since evolved into a big band and jazz-style ensemble, tailoring their tunes to their audience. They particularly love sharing their knowledge of music and instruments with school children. While members work on scheduling, sound system setup, transportation, and programming for each performance, there's never a need to check the heart of the group. That piece of equipment is always upbeat and pitch perfect.
So I've actually never heard them in person, but I've got a good close acquaintance, Uncle Sam, that usually is there for the 4th of July, that knows that they perform there at the Pancake Breakfast every year, and that they come highly recommended. So if the Rhythmaires would come up here, please, that would be great. Or the Rhythmaire, as the case may be. Okay, just one? All right. So again, you guys do a great job. Put an early plug in for you. It's only about 6 weeks away for the 4th of July. Do you have any other things coming up before then? Or? Sure. We play the same program. You come on over and come over to the mic.
We play the same program on the 1st of July at the Senior Center because they always have a celebration before the 4th, for the 4th. If that makes sense.
You want to
yes.
say a few other words?
I certainly want to thank especially the people at the Senior Center, Julia, Linda, who wrote the nomination, who must have picked our brains to do that. She did a wonderful job. So we thank you for the award, and especially thank the staff at the Senior Center for making us happy there. We practice, as you heard, every Friday morning and play at any of their functions that they wish us to, and play, of course, out in the neighborhood. If Jerry is here, he could probably come up. Jerry Johnson was coming. Well, perhaps not. Are there any other members of the Rhythmaires that came today? Well, we are based in Cupertino, but Pearl Kidder, goodness sakes, please, can you come up?
Yeah. Shyness is not an option.
Oh, well, this is the best wish possible. And accepting an award from a group like ours that numbers 10 now, goes back a long way. And Pearl Kidder here is one representative of the original group that I joined in the 1990s. It started with Forrest Baird, who played wonderful trombone. He was a doctor of music at the local universities. He led between 1990 and when I took over in 1994. So the memories of all these people that organized this group early on is really very wonderful. He passed on in 2001. We lost Al Hager and Eldred Clark. Also in 2001, they were reed players. And one of the benefits we derived from them was they dumped their music libraries on us. And of course, the other group involved Walt Empey, who sang vocals, and he has passed on, and especially Dodie Kelly, who sang vocals. She was a combination of Ethel Merman, Billie Holiday, and Doris Day, all wrapped up in one. Finally, Keith McKay left us in 2004, and our wonderful piano player, 99-year-old Marge Croft, passed on in 2008. We also have a large number of individuals who have gone to other things, and Pearl Kidder here is one member of that group, which also includes Jack Perry, who's in a retirement home in Davis, California at the present time, Claire Tierce and Leonard Julian, who are still playing in the area, Phyllis Mickelson, who comes and sings once in a while when we need her badly, if our regular singer can't come. And certainly Jerry Johnson, who I thought was coming tonight. Is he here? Okay. He was a piano player, excellence, extraordinary, who has filled in many times for us. The final, of course, the person is Pearl Kidder, who was the extraordinary talented person who played piano, organ, and her favorite was marimba. And we couldn't do without that. So there are so many people to thank, and we like to invite you all to come to the 4th of July pancake breakfast at the, not at the Senior Center at Quinlan, on the 4th, which is the Sunday this year, and on the 1st, which is the ceremony, same ceremony at the Senior Center. And again, I thank all of our group and the 10 members, of course, in existence today are all very busy people. Most of the group not only play with the Rhythmaires, but sing or play in other groups in the communities they live in. Thank you.
Here you go. Thank you. My goodness. And all these proclamations.
Wow.
It's just
Goodness sake. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing your music and your passion with all of us. Thank you very much. Okay, next I'd like to introduce my fellow council member, Mark Santoro, to do the next two recipients.
Okay, the next award winner is Lynne Capener. Please roll the tape.
Children and safety. Those are the twin passions that guide the prolific volunteer activities of Lynne Capener. She's a mother who graduated from the city's Community Emergency Response Team program. She's a retired music teacher who volunteers with Cupertino Amateur Radio Emergency Service. As her children moved through the Cupertino school system, Lynne followed, working with elementary, middle, and high schools on projects to keep local students safe. Lynne is now the volunteer chairperson for the city's School Disaster Preparedness Committee. She holds monthly meetings where subjects such as earthquakes, search and rescue, campus violence, and first aid are discussed. Lynne has been keeping committee members updated on current safety topics and trends for more than 5 years. She often provides training and produces a master calendar of school emergency drills so principals, staff, and parents can observe them. She reviews school emergency plans and procedures, encourages new members, and generously mentors others, drawing on her years of school preparedness experiences. To ensure the safety of her own surroundings, Lynne, with husband Chris, organized a neighborhood response team in the Man Drive area. It was one of the city's first such teams. The success of this effort is just one more example of Lynne's commitment to keeping family, neighbors, and community protected and prepared.
So it's hard to go past what the tapes say. I think I've seen Lynne at several disaster things. I'm on the disaster, was on the chair of the disaster council for the city in the past, and I'm on the emergency preparedness council, and Lynne seems to be around in a lot of places. What they didn't say on the tape is she's also a member of CARES, radio amateur, and she's also CERT trained. I kind of asked her, because the tapes are so good, is there anything you'd like to say about yourself that's not covered? And she said, well, I've lived here all my life. She says, well, I got here when I was 2, so I guess she's been here for about 25 years. And she said, you know, she went right back to her heart, which is just tell them about the schools and about the kids and about the schools. I got anything else? I'm about the schools, which is what she's about. And it amazes me every year, I think, when we get up here, that we've gone through all of the wonderful people in this city that we can possibly have, and every year there's just a whole new field of people just done amazing things. So thank you very much for helping out.
Thank you so much. I like everybody else here, we don't do this for the award. We do the volunteering that we do because it's close to our hearts. And like many people, if the kids in Cupertino aren't safe, if they're not growing and progressing, then it impacts all of us in a community. Just like the parents and teachers who just raised, what was it, $2.5 million? What a mark for our community. Everybody in our community has been tremendous. And I noticed that, as you say, all these other people who are coming up to accept awards, I keep going, Faith in Action, oh, I've done things with them. West Valley Community, oh, I know them, I've done things with them. You know, I do little things with these other groups, not nearly to the extent that so many of you have done. There are so many people in our community who volunteer tremendous hours, and what a marvelous community that we have because of it. I'm just privileged to live here and privileged to be associated with all of you. Thank you so much.
So she's got a real stash here. I'm not going to read through these, but there's one from Supervisor Liz Niss. There's one from Congressman Mike Honda. There's one from Senator Joseph Smithian. Not to be outdone, she has one from the Terminator. And a Terminatrix, I guess, Mayor Huang. And I missed one here from Paul Fong.
Excellent, thank you.
And this cute little piece of glass, don't drop it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, the next recipient is Crystal Yan.
If you've ever wondered about the meaning of high achiever, one look at Crystal Yan's resume makes everything perfectly clear. A senior at Monte Vista High School, Crystal has already accomplished more than most people pull off in a lifetime. She might be best described as a serial social entrepreneur, having founded or contributed to several online companies that focus on youth marketing and empowerment. She started Torque Media Group, a design agency that offers pro bono packages to startups and nonprofits. She co-founded Social Startup Summit, a high-impact alternative conference for young people. She is co-curator of an ebook called What's Next? 25 Big Ideas from 25 Gen Yers under 25. And she's founder of Econ for All, a media campaign offering tools to make learning fun for K-12 educators. And oh yes, she speaks 3 languages. Crystal is always on the move, looking for ways to improve the world and motivate others to do the same. She mobilized a middle school to raise $1,500 for Thanksgiving dinners for low-income families, and then went out and raised $500 on her own for UNICEF. She sits on national boards, gives speeches, and has worked as a consultant. She also created Project Connecting Communities to give high school students a vehicle for their own service projects. That endeavor is endorsed and supported by the Cupertino Rotary Club. Unlike many local students, Crystal doesn't come from a privileged background. She achieves with hard work, intelligence, a winning attitude, and an eye toward an even brighter future.
Come on up. So I asked Crystal, I walked up, I've never met her before the meeting, and I introduced myself, and I learned something from her right off. She said, "I know you, I've seen your lawn signs." Which impressed me because I'm famous for running the lowest budget campaign and had the least amount of lawn signs. So clearly she pays a lot of attention. She had to look really hard for those, I think. Well, I was going to talk about what's next because she thought that's the one thing that the staff didn't know anything about. But once again, our staff's just amazingly good at ferreting out all this information. I go, "You sure they know everything?" She goes, "No, they don't know that." So they do know that. And so the lady is so bright and articulate, I'm going to let her speak for herself while I get her awards ready.
So I just wanted to take a brief moment to thank, I think, a lot of the contributing factors that led me to do all the crazy things that I do. I wanted to thank my family because it was a conversation with my sister that made me realize the need for a service club at a local middle school, a middle school that had just been recently established. And I want to thank the community leaders, especially our educators. I know our previous recipient was really adamant about the need to support the education within our community. I love that Cupertino is a city that when I went to present the idea to start a service club at Lawson Middle School, the administrators and the faculty immediately stepped up to help us make our crazy ideas to change the world happen. I also want to thank, of course, our city's leaders. When we first started Project Connecting Communities, in a year we had already collaborated with the City of Cupertino through the Cupertino Teen Commission and through the Cupertino Parks and Recreation Department twice for our projects in just 1 year. In fact, Mr. Mahoney, I don't know if he remembers because he probably is all over the place inspiring young people. He actually came to several of our meetings to inspire our interactors as part of the Cupertino Rotary. And I love that Cupertino is a place where all of us young people can get a little face time to share our ideas to make our city even better. Today, in fact, some of my classmates were able to present some ideas for a city plan to some of our city's commissioners, and they told me the night before they had no idea what city planning was all about. So it's unbelievable that this is a community that not only tolerates the voices of young people, but celebrates them. Thank you.
See, I told you she was a great speaker, isn't she? I've once again a large fistful of proclamations, one from Paul Fong, one from Liz Niss, one from Joe Smithian. He gets the weight award. One from Mike Honda, one from Governor Schwarzenegger, and one from our own mayor, Chris Huang. And not yet. You get this cool glass thing too.
Thank you.
It's now my pleasure to introduce my fellow council member, Barry Chang, to present the next two awards.
Welcome. I'm sorry I'm running a little bit behind because I was showing houses and I couldn't get out of it. And my client kept talking to me. I said, I got to go, but sorry. But I'm glad I come in just barely in time. Compared to different than Mark, when he was running low profile. I was running high profile campaign on the cement plant air pollution, if you know what I have to say or what I've done. And also, most people know me, my major problem is my mouse is faster than my brain, so I make quite a lot of mistakes. I'm still learning. So my pleasure to give the award to the Face in Action Board. And this is my first time, so if I goof, please excuse me. Okay. Roll, please. Supposed to be roll, right?
When the computer crashes or the system catches a bug, who you gonna call? At West Valley Community Services, the answer is easy. Just dial W for Wally. That's Wally Iimura, IT's troubleshooter extraordinaire and a godsend when the WVCS network needs help in a hurry. Last year, Wally logged more than 150 hours doing volunteer tech work on site at WVCS. A retired technology employee, he's been assisting the agency for the past 8 years. He fixes and maintains the computers and network, and with patience and kindness, he helps WVCS clients with their computer and network problems. Always on the lookout for ways to help both staff and clients, Wally researched and installed a 4x faster internet connection for almost half the monthly cost. Wally was also instrumental this year in bringing the Vita Free Tax Assistance Program to WVCS by configuring the computers, printers, and network to allow Vita to share the agency's multi-purpose community room. For the first time, WVCS clients were assisted by trained volunteers to correctly file their tax returns. Friendly and helpful, Wally generously shares his IT experience with other community groups, including the Better Part Video Production Group at the Cupertino Senior Center and Live Oak Adult Day Services. Got a system glitch? Wally will be there with a smile to save the day.
Wally coming up, I really apologize. First one's goof right there, right? I followed the instruction here. The first one was supposed to be Face in Action Board, but then you become Wally. I'm sorry. Wally, you want to say a few words?
Well, I want to thank Naomi Nakano Matsumoto for nominating me, but my task really is to get the people at West Valley Community Services productive and not have to deal with all the computer things that I can do. So that's what I do. And thanks to the city for the privilege of accepting this award.
Thank you. We also have proclamation from Joe Smithian, State Senator, and one from my Honda. Okay, cannot read his writing. Sorry. So you guys already remember? Oh, okay, all right, okay, all right. Chris Huang. Sorry. Wow, this one's from Arnold. Okay. And this one is from Supervisor Rhythmaires. And this one from Po Fang. Thank you. And then also this one. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So next one's supposed to be Faith in Action and More, right? Please roll.
More than 7,000 people are chronically homeless in Santa Clara County, but for some, there's a lifeline. Every month, the rotating shelter program for homeless men gives 15 guests a place to sleep and 3 square meals while they look for employment, build up their cash reserves, and seek permanent housing. Behind the successful 18-year-old shelter program stands a passionate and committed board of directors. Members of this Faith in Action team include representatives from 11 local churches and 1 synagogue, along with staff members from West Valley Community Services. During the past year, the shelter board coordinated 16,200 meals and 5,400 nightly beds for over 100 homeless men. Members also raised approximately $150,000 to run the rotating shelter program. Through tireless recruitment and outreach efforts led by Chairperson Mary Ellen Henning, the board has forged partnerships with 15 local churches, organizations, and businesses to help with fundraising and to provide meals and services for shelter guests. The shelter rotates from one church or congregation to another every month. Well-screened guests stay up to 90 days receiving case management and other assistance. Although they come from different religious backgrounds, board members are united by one goal: to be effective and dedicated advocates for homeless men in search of a stable, self-sufficient lifestyle.
So, can I have Faith in Action Board coming up? You know, this is very special, especially when we know some part of the world they're fighting because of different religions, but in here, different religion can work closely together. That's really set a really good example. And then, you know, they provided 16,200 meals in a year, and they raised about $150,000 a year. So really a lot of hard work. Thank you very much. So each one of you say a few words. How's that sound? Good. Okay, come.
First, I would like to introduce my fellow Faith in Action members here. This is Don Van Buren, Kitty Hagan, Dick Schumacher, Susan Wong and David Wong, and Kurt Woodruff. And as you know, as you found out from the video, Faith in Action has been in operation for 18 years. 365 days a week, 365 days a year. We have been providing shelter and meals for homeless men in our area. And yes, we do have a number of homeless people who live in this area. And so it has been our privilege to serve as on this committee to help these men get back on their feet in a warm and supportive environment. I think all of us here on the board have a heart for the poor, and we choose to serve thus, or maybe I should say we have been chosen to serve. We have a very unique partnership with West Valley Community Services. We, in our churches and congregations, supply space for the men to sleep, all their meals and other goods, but West Valley Community Services provides all the administrative areas like the case management, the overnight supervisors, and let me say I think it's important to introduce not only people who are here, but all of the organizations and churches and congregations that are part of this, because there are dozens. In January, the men are housed at St. Jude Episcopal Church in Cupertino. In February, Trinity United Methodist Church in Sunnyvale, and by the way, it is an intercity effort. In March, Prince of Peace Church, Lutheran Church in Saratoga. In April, Presbyterian Church of Sunnyvale. In May, Union Church of Cupertino. In June, Congregation Beth David in Saratoga. In July, St. Joseph of Cupertino Catholic Church. In August, Ascension Catholic Church in Saratoga. In September, the Good Samaritan United Methodist Church in Cupertino. In October, St. Thomas Episcopal Church in Sunnyvale. In November, the First United Methodist Church in Sunnyvale. And in December, the Congregational Community Church in Sunnyvale. And not only are we an intercity area organization, but we're interfaith. And I have to say, I've been on the committee for almost 18 years, and it is beautiful to work with all the different faiths. We have one common goal, and that is to serve the poor. And also, I wanted to just mention very quickly, we have dozens of other churches or congregations and community organizations who supply meals, such as Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in Cupertino and Sunnyvale, the First Church of Christ Scientist in Sunnyvale, Korean Baptist Church in Campbell, St. Cyprian's Catholic Church in Sunnyvale, St. John's Lutheran Church in Sunnyvale, Bethel Lutheran Church in Cupertino, and also our wonderful Cupertino Rotary Club, the Dianza Kiwanis Club, Silicon Valley Kiwanis Club, Cupertino Grange, and some restaurants, including McHart's Pizza, and also some of our representatives from West Valley Community Services, including David and Susan Wong. So thank you very much on behalf of all of us here. We are privileged to serve, and we are happy to do it. We hope we can continue this good work. And I'd like to invite any of my colleagues to say a few words if you wish.
Hello, I'm Don Van Buren. I'm from the Church of the Ascension. I've lived in Cupertino since 1976. Ascension is on Miller Avenue at Prospect Road. I'm here because Father Joe and his predecessors have allowed our gym to be used during 4 or 5 weeks in the August timeframe. But I'm also here because there is an extensive community that donates meals and other necessities. You know, although I think our Ascension parishioners are very generous, we don't do it alone. We have other meal providers from Los Gatos, United Methodist Church, Congregation Beth David, who's next door, and Sacred Heart Catholic Church in Saratoga. We get phone calls from people that want to provide meals. You know, I thank Cupertino for this recognition, but it's really a community activity, and I think it's really the whole community that should be recognized. Thank you.
Is that? No? No? Okay. Oh. Almost forgot this part. I'm sorry. This one is from Joe Smithian, State Senator. And this one is from Mai Hangda. Okay. And this one is from our mayor, Chris Wan. This one from our governor, Arnold. And this one from supervisor, business. This one from State Assembly member, Paul Fang. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, the grass. See how bad I am? I'm sorry. Okay, the most important one. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Sure, thank you. Yeah. They're not like me. I like to talk, so I'll cut it off right here. So welcome our Mayor Wang, come up. Thank you very much for all your help.
Wow, I'm so touched by all the recipients tonight. Before we end, I'd like once again, thank you Thank you all the CREST Award recipients tonight for all the work you have done for our community, and congratulations too. Before we end, let's give them another bigger round of applause. Thank you.